for Tuesday. We're not going to try to be political on the stream today, but hopefully everybody went out and voted. Whoever you voted for, hopefully you did it. So that's all I want to say about that, because I want to make it a very political statement, nothing along those lines. Thanks for everyone coming into the stream tonight. Normally we do these streams the first Tuesday of every month was the idea, but because of Halloween, we did sort of a special version of it about a week ago. So I was kind of jockeying for what I wanted to do with the stream tonight. Excuse me, guys. And I came up with a couple ideas, and we'll go forward with that. Drink for tonight, we're going old school. We're doing a little Coke. I wanted traditional Coke, something classic is what I wanted to do. So let's take a look here, make sure the stream is okay. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me all right. Again, I can never hear myself chatting because it will cause feedback and I won't ever be able to hear anything. So let me know if it sounds okay in the stream. I'm hoping it does. I got the mic hooked up here. I got my old school mic that I was always using. But now since I have it much closer, I have two monitors, it's much easier to do sound now instead of using the lapel mic, which I normally use. So please let me know if you can hear me okay. Let's take a look here at the stream, make sure it looks live. And it looks good to go. Excellent. So, thanks, Jackie. I was kind of jockeying with the idea, and we're starting at 9. Thanks for coming into the stream with me tonight, guys. I was jockeying with the idea of what I wanted to do for tonight's stream. Wasn't entirely sure my approach I wanted to take in the stream tonight. So, first things first is pickups. Thanks, Jackie. I made the font a little bit bigger. It might not be big enough. So, let me make the font a tad bit bigger. Hopefully, it looks better. I'm going to go to, let's say, 52. Hopefully it will be bigger when the fonts come in. I'm hoping it'll be bigger. Pickups, I normally talk about that before we start anything with a stream. But I didn't have a whole lot of pickups because I did all my pickups on Halloween for the Halloween content last week. So it was very, very hard to look and see if I picked anything up. And I did pick up one piece. I'll do a quick unboxing. I'm probably going to review this one as well as the 10-inch counterpart for this pop. And that, of course, is this guy right here. The the standard size Mandalorian with Child. With the new Mandalorian show that just started up again, Season 2 on the Disney Plus channel. I have not yet seen Season 2 of Mandalorian. I want to wait for either the full series to conclude for Season 2 before I get a free trial, or pretty close to completing before I start watching the episodes, because I don't want to wait week to week. I'm steering clear from any spoilers. I don't want to know anything that's going on in Mandalorian, so keep spoilers, please, out of the chat. So this is what he looks like. This is not the Chrome version. The Chrome version is a 10-inch version. I was getting these guys confused. I thought they made this one in 10-inch. They don't. They make a 10-inch version, but a Chrome version, and the Child is on the other side. So let me grab them real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. So let me, he's underneath my table, so let me pick them up real fast so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is the 10-inch version of the Mandalorian. This is the same one right here, just scaled down, much smaller. So if you look here, you see the Child in his left arm. The Child here is in his right arm. So it's the mirror version of this guy for this size pop. So it's the same one, except all chrome parts. Anywhere that you would see the gray here, it's chrome here. So I'm going to do a review of that 10-inch one. I just haven't got around to it yet. It's on my radar to do a review. I have such a backlog catalog, guys, of stuff I need to do reviews on and unboxings. I just haven't gotten to everything yet. I'm definitely in the process. I'm just not there yet. So let's take a look at this guy real quick here. I want to make sure the stream, take a look at the stream itself. I'm looking at all the verbiage is coming into the chat, making sure everything looks good. And it looks all right. That's why you see me kind of looking off screen. So that's the reason why. Looking at the analytics here. Perfect. Excellent. So good. Hopefully you're still in the chat, Titus. We'll chat definitely after the stream. I'm going to start giving you pictures. Myself and Kate Titus are going to be doing a trade box. Very similar to what I did with I am Tom Hanks. It's OMG, I'm Tom Hanks. Him and I did a trade box. So it's going to be very similar to one of those. We'll talk more about that when we get near to putting these boxes together. So let's take a look real quick at the Child, with Mandalorian with the Child, rather. I haven't reviewed him yet. I haven't reviewed the 10-inch pop yet, so that again is on my radar. I haven't got around to him yet. This was picked up. I ordered it on from GameStop because I ordered the child Hallmark ornament as well. So he does look really, really good. He's blasting off. They've used this sort of base before, this jetpack base. We've seen it with Boba Fett. We've seen it with Jango Fett. And I do like when they make it this way because, yes, we know they cannot detach from the base because of Star Wars rights or whatever they have because of Funko. But I like how they incorporated it so you don't have that plain, that old, the traditional black base that they normally had for the Star Wars figures. I do like to have it in black text here. It looks really, really good. Yes, he is a bobblehead. Yes, I don't like that. I've mentioned it in many, many videos. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like bobbleheads, but he looks good. I like the way he looks here. The head here is a bit tricky, but it does look like he does have movement on the head a little bit better than other ones I've seen. Again, not a fan of the spring. Let's take a look at the child real quick here. Let's get an up-close shot of him. He looks really, really nice. Hopefully the camera will focus on him. Hopefully well. Hopefully it will come in. Come on, focus. It may not focus on him really well. But he looks really good. He is holding him in his little blanket that he had before. There is no articulation. If you're going to ask me, Rook, is there articulation on the Baby Yoda? Does his head move? Bobblehead? No, he looks just... they decoed him in and they put parts on him, but there is no bobblehead on the child. The child has no parts at all. Cool, you're still here, Titus. Awesome. Yeah, so good. I like that. The font is much bigger now. Very, very good. I upped it to about 52 points. 52 font for the chat box. Now it's much bigger. So yeah, Baby Yoda looks really, really good. Like the way he looks. The jetpack, you can see the fire effects coming off the jetpack. It sort of has this it's kind of translucent material. You can see the bottom here also. It is translucent and is colored up. So as the jets go down, it's lighter in color. If you go up, it's darker in color. Like that. Very, very cool. Very neat version of this pop. Apologies for the dog. It's barking in the background. He does look really, really good. I do like the way he looks. Very, very cool pop. Happy to have him in the collection. I'm going to be redoing my shelves probably maybe this weekend. Possibly. I haven't decided yet. I want to kind of mix some stuff up, change some stuff. Oh, if you're curious, he does have the Mandalorian crest in the back of the packaging. You just take it out so you can see it's a piece of cardboard. So you do get that with it. I don't know if the big one has it yet. I have to look. But I'm probably going to be rearranging my shelves. I like kind of mixing things up every once in a while. Stuff that I've had that was, in storage. Maybe give that some time to shine on the big black shelves you see behind me over here. So I like I said, I like putting out different things and mixing up the collection. Because the shelf that you guys normally see, let me just fix this real quick here. The shelf that you guys normally see in all the review videos, at least in the house now, is mainly the Batman shelf, which is basically this shelf right here. I'll kind of move the camera around a little bit so you can see it. This shelf right there we go. This shelf here I'm pointing to. That one has a lot of the Batman pops. The first the first three rows at the top are all Batman pops. Every single one of them are Batman related pops. So I wanted to, I don't know if I'm going to switch, sorry about that. I don't know if I'm going to switch that particular shelf. I don't know yet if I'm going to move stuff off that shelf. I'm kind of known to have this shelf, those three-tier Batman shelves, always. I'm not sure. It's kind of a running joke with me. It's been a running joke ever since I got into Funko. For whatever reason, I'm not the biggest Batman fan. I keep saying this, and I sound like a broken record. But I'm not the biggest Batman fan. And for some reason, I keep getting Batman pops. I'm not going out specifically trying to find them. I just happen to. What I think about the Japanese anime and figures, I've used to be a big fan of anime, but more traditional anime. And what I mean by traditional anime, Titus, would be old school stuff. I'm talking Space Battleship Yamato. I'm talking Space Ninja Gatchaman or G-Force. I'm talking Voltron. I'm talking old school Robotech or Space Dimensional Macross, Southern Cross, or Mospedia, otherwise known as Macross. I think it was called Southern Cross and Next Generation for Robotech. I like the old school anime. Even some old school Dragon Ball stuff I liked. Not any of the crazier newer stuff that you guys have seen nowadays. But I'm talking when Dragon Ball was kind of in its, I would say it's in its prime, but many many years ago, the old school Dragon Ball, not like GT, none of this God form Goku stuff, nothing like that. Up to Saiyan, I think Saiyan level 3 is where I kind of went away from it. But as far as Japanese anime goes, I definitely like it. I definitely love. I like Voltron. Lion Force Voltron. Again, I like the old school anime, the old stuff. Again, Space Ninja Gatchaman, or G-Force, Battle of the Planets, if you will. Space Battleship Yamato, otherwise known as Star Blazers in the U.S. Old school end of 1970s, early 1980s animes. What I kind of grew up with, even let's say Transformers, G.I. Joe, that sort of stuff. That's the stuff I grew up with, and I remember, and I like. So to answer your question, I do like anime, but more older stuff. I haven't seen any of the new stuff. Naruto. I did see Airbender. I did see that one. I didn't see Naruto. I didn't see anything with My Ninja Academia. I didn't see anything of like the real hip new anime stuff. I haven't seen any of that stuff yet. I'm a little more old school. Also, so that was kind of the newest pickup. Was this guy, of course, this one here, right there, the Mandalorian Child. 2 years ago, when Dragon Ball started, I have some very first figures. Cool. Yeah, I like the older school stuff of Dragon Ball. If I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, Titus, because you would know more than I would. I believe Dragon Ball started as a manga first, meaning it was a comic, a black and white comic, if I remember correctly, and then it transitioned to an anime. But I think it was a manga first, and then it became an anime, I believe. But I could be wrong there. I think I'm correct. Next thing I want to talk about, starting this coming Thursday, which would be the, let's see, would be, make sure I got my dates correct here. Should be the 5th. Correct, the 5th. The 5th, we're starting another giveaway. I do these giveaways every once in a while. I don't do them a whole lot. I used to, but I slowed down with giveaways. But I'm still doing giveaways. And we're going to be doing a giveaway for this guy right here. I picked up 2 of these. I ordered one. There was a buy 2 get 1 free at Hot Topics, and they had a lot of these left. Of course, talking about the Marvel Pop number 682 Red Goblin New York Comic Con Fall Convention, New York Comic Con Hot Topic exclusive, shared exclusive, not the one. Cool. Not the one that was from the convention itself. This is the shared exclusive version of the Red Goblin. The Red Goblin, just a little bit of info. From what I kind of picked up reading Wikipedia, reading information about it, I believe this is the bonded version of Norman Osborn, a.k.a. the Green Goblin, and Carnage, to make the Red Goblin character, which looks really, really cool. We'll take a look at him real quick. This will be the one that will be given away. It's going to be done from Gleam.io website. We do this for all our giveaways. That's how I'm going to be doing it. I do like the way he looks. Another translucent, cool-looking base. I think he looks good. Unfortunately, Titus, this is only open to the U.S. residents. Most of all my giveaways are always based out of U.S. because of the price it costs to ship this guy. His head, for whatever reason, does spin 360, which is uncharacteristic for Marvel. I know it's something with the spring, because I have a second Red Goblin that doesn't do this. I'm giving you guys this version of it, so you can spin the head around all you want. I do love the pumpkin bomb right there, which has a picture of like a Venom face right there. Looks really cool, which is, of course, right here, right there. I love that pumpkin bomb. Looks very, very cool. Very neat figure. This will be going out to one winner. I saw, like I said, luckily the Hot Topic I went to, they had literally, I said this in last week's video, I sound like a broken record right now. They literally had, I want to say, at least a dozen Red Goblins, which was kind of surprising to me, because I swore up and down that I thought this guy would have been the hot item to get. This would have been the harder one, because usually they'll have, if you look at San Diego Comic Con, New York Comic Con, Emerald City Comic Con, or any of the conventions, there's usually 1 or 2 guys that are very, very awesome Spidey games. definitely take a look at the giveaway when it goes up on this coming Thursday if you're in the U.S. Usually for the big cons, San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, Emerald City Comic-Con, those big conventions, they usually have one guy or one or two pops that are the money pops. Those are the ones that people are going to be going crazy to try to get their hands on. I swore up and down it would be this guy here. Whatever the reason, the Hot Topic I went to, they had a ton of these guys. And I don't know if my Hot Topic was the same as your guys' Hot Topic, but the one that I went to had massive amounts of Red Goblins. I'm happy to get at least one in my collection, because I think this guy, my personal opinion, this guy here, it says Red Goblin, Red Death on the back of the packaging, which is kind of funny because they have a Red Death character that based the Flash Batman in death metal. So it's kind of funny that they did that. Yeah, so I mean, this guy seems super cool, and he should be the one that you take out of the package, because when you saw me take it out, he looks, in my personal opinion, a lot cooler out of package than in package, because he has that cool, and same thing with Mandalorian here. Same deal with this guy, because the translucent base just gives this thing a lot more shine. It gives it a lot more presence sitting on a shelf. And because he has his own little base, you don't really need to worry about this guy toppling over, and I do like that. I think having a nice secured base like this kind of predicates to take this guy out of package, in my personal opinion. That's what I personally think. Now let's talk about the meat and potatoes of the stream tonight. Stream aside, new stuff aside, if you notice on the thumbnail, I was looking, kind of jockeying around with an idea to kind of, what should we talk about in the stream? We talked about the Halloween stuff last week. Normally these streams, again, are the first Tuesday. You see the light from my other monitor. Normally the first Tuesday of every month is when I do my streams now. But since we're getting near the end of the year, I might be doing additional streams sporadically through the month. We weren't able to do the October version of Z-Box, mainly because the box had to be canceled because they didn't have the right shirt size. I am in line to get the November box. Hopefully it ships with no issue. Hopefully there'll be no problem this time. I do want to do that unboxing because I think I do like Z-Box. And from the box I opened in September, it was a good box. There was a lot of value packed into that box, and everything in that box has been used in some way, shape, or form. Either it's been displayed or given out as a gift. Almost everything out of that box I have done something with, which is kind of unheard of coming from subscription boxes. Usually you just hoard a bunch of stuff and they sit there and not do anything. This stuff, I've either put it in display cabinets, given it away to a friend of my wife's son's friend who's in the military. I gave him some reading material. He's in boot camp right now, so I figured it'd be good to give stuff out. You know, things like this. This is why I like doing subscription unboxings, because I could do things like this. But as far as the stream, if you would have taken a look at the refresh here. If you've taken a look at the thumbnail, sorry about that. I'm just waiting for the page to refresh here. Make sure the stream's okay. 1 second, guys. I apologize. Perfect. Excellent. Yeah, looks like for whatever reason the stream took a hiccup. Apologies for that. We're going to talk about your most expensive pickups in 2020 that you've spent money on, or your biggest regret. So usually I'll do these kind of every once in a while when there's nothing really big or important to talk about. I'll kind of dive down this rabbit hole, if you will. So the biggest pickups for me, at least for me or for my family, so let me put this into context, would be the biggest pickups. If we don't count this piece, it'd be another one. We'll talk about both in a second. The biggest pickup for me was my then fiancée, now wife, bought 2 Sideshow statues for me. One was the Green Lantern premium format John Stewart statue. That's the one where he has the big honking cannon that's attached to his arm. The statue is literally, I would say, if we scoot back a little bit, it's literally, I kid you not, guys, it's literally about almost 2 feet tall and nearly about 2 feet wide. It's inside a display case. It is a massive statue. I reviewed the statue before. It is not a cheap statue. Sideshow, if you're into Sideshow or looking to break into Sideshow, it is not a cheap man's hobby. It is a very expensive hobby to get into. The statues range at the cheapest, at really the cheapest. When we talk premium format statues, you're looking at about $399 up, I would say, $1,200 or more. It ranges this gambit of price. Some of the statues are $3.99, $4.99, $5.99, $6.99. As you get more detailed or bigger in size, the price exponentially goes up. It is not a cheap man's hobby. It is extremely expensive. She bought 2 of these statues for me when it was a kind of a wedding gift and moving into a new house gift. The first one was a Jon Stewart one. The second one was the Superman versus Batman statue. Both those statues have a price point well over $500. They are not cheap statues. They are extremely expensive, high-end, high collectible, low piece count. That's what I'm looking for. Low piece count made statues, meaning the amount of these things they made is very, very small, which inherently raises the collectability through the years. It will raise prices of the statue. For example, they made a Snake Eye statue. Sideshow Collectibles made a Snake Eye statue, I want to say back early 2008, 2010. It's Snake Eyes with the Timber Wolf kind of wrapping around them. It's a tall statue. You can make them either the Commando version or normal Snake Eyes. There's a couple different accessories. You can either put different heads in, different guns in. But that statue originally sold, I think it sold for $2.99, maybe $3.99. That statue right now, if you can find it, clocks in well over $1,200. It's about 4 times the price that the typical statue made. Even my Green Lantern premium format statue, which my wife now picked up for me, the Hal Jordan one, not the Jon Stewart one, that one originally was $3.99. To find that statue now completely intact, mint, you're looking at about $800 to $1,000. The premium format statues go up exponentially through the years. It, again, is not a cheap man's hobby. It's extremely expensive to buy these statues. So that was the biggest thing that she bought. The biggest thing that I probably purchased was probably at during our honeymoon at the Hollywood Funko store, when I dropped over $300 on Funko, like $325, and $200 to rent the car to get to California. So that particular day, I literally dropped over $500 to get my way to Hollywood, California, and to buy everything I wanted at the Funko store. Am I upset about that? Not really. I'm not really mad about that. I'm happy about what I purchased. I was disappointed. I did a whole video series, a 3-part video series about my experience at the Funko store. It was a actual tour video, a haul video, and the fallout of what happened when I shot that video. So it's a whole 3-part video series. You can check it out on the channel, on the playlist. You can find it there. It's been up there for weeks now. So definitely take a look at it if you want to. It's definitely a very, very cool set of videos. I'm just checking a couple things here, guys, so pardon me. But yeah, awesome. So yeah, that was the biggest things we bought. She purchased for me was the statues. Me personally was all the Funko stuff. But as far as the biggest regret I have, just because, let me kind of switch over real quick here. I'm going to do a shift to the biggest. Those statues were very, very cool. The Superman Batman, in my opinion, was a cool statue. My wife, not a big fan of it. She kind of bought into the hype of the way this thing looks, and it was kind of sort of a killjoy when she took it out of the box when we were putting it together. She didn't like it as much as she thought she would. Me personally, I don't have too much of a problem with it. It looks good. Let me switch over to my other screen so you can see what it looks like here, right there. Here's the statue if you've never seen it before. It's a very, very cool statue. It's very, very neat. You have both the Heat Vision portrait version and the normal version. The head is hot swappable. The biggest problem I had with that statue was trying to hook the cape underneath the detachable head, because literally when you pull the head out of the statue, there's magnets that keep it clipped into place. So it's very, very difficult to keep it correct and positioned properly. That's the bottom of the base, Superman vs. Batman. It's a big statue. It looks pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. I don't have a problem the way this thing looks. It looks really, really nice in person. When you look at it in person, I thought it was pretty good. My wife, not so much. If you're curious, that is a kryptonite ring he has in his hand. He has a battering in his hand over here. It looks pretty cool. I really don't have a bad problem with it. It's very muscular Batman, very muscular Superman. He's in a very, very cool looking base. The only thing that's really hot swappable is the head. Everything else is what you see is what you get with those statues. There's a little bit of a scale here. It is 23.5 inches high by 18 inches wide by 13 inches deep. He's on a sort of a Fortress of Solitude base right here. That is an apple in scale. This thing is actually very, very massive. It is a very, very cool statue, in my personal opinion. My wife, not so much. She's not a super fan of it. But I really don't dislike it all that much. I think she kind of bought into the hype with the other Green Lantern statues, that what her expectations were, because all she ever purchased when it comes to Sideshow were those statues. She bought the Hal Jordan statue, premium format. She bought the Sinestro statue, again, premium format, and the Jon Stewart Green Lantern premium format. And all those were very, very big statues. Probably my biggest regret of my collection might be that Sinestro statue. If we look back another couple years, because that statue, even though it looks very, very cool, it's very, very tall and very, very lanky. The statue's been known to have issues with stability, and I used it when I did the review for that Sinestro statue, because you plug it into the base with one point, and he's very, very thin and lanky. And as he goes up, the statue kind of holds him in place. The base is very, very small. It's a very small base. It's not like this large, wide base that can hold the character's weight. It's very, very weak, and when you put his foot on a little pedestal to hold him in place, there's no peg point, and you can't lock it into that top little rest to hold his foot. And the statue has a tendency, what I call swimming. It will sway left and right. So to me, it's not... it's a very cool looking statue, but the amount of risk to display that statue, unless it's in a enclosed area, is very risky. I mean, airflow, if you get the air in the wrong position, pets could knock it over. He is extremely unstable, and people have complained. And I think there's been people who've written in on Reddits and maybe even through Sideshow, who've had problems with the statue to be so loose in its stability. They've had people have big issues with that statue, myself included. It has never fallen on me, thankfully. The other biggest issue is, since that thing is so damn tall, there is a premium format piece that you cannot attach. I can't even put it in my case because it goes nearly close to 3 feet tall with this massive buzzsaw piece. Was a construct of a buzzsaw, which the construct energy is hooking to his hand. So literally, it's the hand in place that hooks him to the peg point and makes him like another 8 inches taller than he normally. He's already about 2 feet tall. When you put the buzzsaw on him, he's close to 3 feet. He's not exactly 3 feet. He's like 2'8", 2'9". But it makes it so much taller, and it's very difficult to display him unless you put him on top of something very high or encased in something where you have enough space to display this statue. That would be the only one that I have in my personal collection that I'm not a fan of. What stuff do you guys have that were great pickups in 2020? Let me know in the chat, please. Hit me up, please, before we conclude in the stream tonight. I'm happy we got this far at least. We only have 2 or 3 people in the chat tonight, which is fine. I wasn't looking for a whole lot of people coming into the stream. Whatever comes in, that's awesome. I have no problem. If you guys want to join me in the chat, you're always welcome to. Please don't be a stranger. Please come into the chat and say something. Absolutely. So we're closing the stream out tonight. Again, we had some Coca-Cola. That's what we drank tonight. We're going to be closing the stream out in a minute or two. Let me know in the chat when this goes on video on demand, probably tomorrow. These videos usually take about a day before they render and show up on YouTube. Let me know on the chat what was first 2 questions I want to ask. And the video on demand and to end the stream tonight. What was your biggest pickup in 2020 that you spent the most amount of money for? And what was your biggest regret? What do you kind of go, you know what, I shouldn't have dropped all this money on whatever this is? Again, for me, biggest pickups personally was for the Funko store. Dropped over $300 and had to rent a car. About $500 that day just to get to Funko. And my wife picked up 2 statues, well over $500 each statue, extremely expensive. And on the flip side, one of those statues was our biggest regret because the Superman Batman didn't live up all the hype. at least in her opinion. Mine, I don't dislike it. I dislike it, but her dislike is well over my dislike. Let's put it that way. She dislikes it a lot. Me, I dislike it a little bit. I think they could have made a better version of the statue. The base is extremely wide, as I mentioned before. It's like over 18 inches wide. It is a massive base. You have two characters that are on that statue, and because you have two characters, they're linked together in a very weird way. Like when you looked at, let me swing this back around real quick before we end the stream. Did I get? And I closed it. Oh well. The Superman, when he has his arm like lunging back, when he has his arm posed all the way back, you have Batman keyed into his rib cage. So that's how he's being held on. There's basically a clip in his rib cage. You plug the statue into. So literally, Batman is floating. That picture where you saw Batman floating in the air. There's no other connection point to Batman to the base. He's literally linked into the side of Superman. That's how he's being attached to that statue. So to me, I think they probably could have attacked it in a different way. Having maybe a other interchangeable part on Batman might have been something better, because he has a Batarang in one hand and the Kryptonite ring in the other. Maybe instead of having the Batarang, maybe he could have had a grapple gun. Maybe he could have had, instead of having the Kryptonite ring, maybe a actual shard of Kryptonite, because he's known to have the Kryptonite ring, so I kind of take that back. He's known to have that Kryptonite ring, so it makes sense. Maybe an actual piece of Kryptonite might have been cool as well. The grapple gun might have been another cool thing. Maybe a ripped cowl for Batman, maybe half his, maybe some battle damage. They could have done something, because those capes that you saw billowing for both Batman and Superman, those are attached via Superman's collar, and it comes up with magnets to when you plug the head in. There's literally the cape billows down, and it's done with an armature wire. So it actually is a cloth piece of material that is bendable at the bottom of the cape. You can move that cape around, which I thought was kind of cool. But the thing is just so big and bulky and takes up a lot of space. It's the only statue literally in my display case of that level, where it's at in the display case. There's some smaller little pieces there, but it's the only statue that's filling that shelf, because it's so damn tall. So that's the only real regret I have. It is what it is. That would be that was her biggest regret, kind of mine, because I think they could have done better with that statue, but I still think it's an okay statue. Excuse me, it's an okay statue, not the greatest, but okay. So that would be the question I want to ask the chat before we conclude the stream tonight. What was your biggest pickups in 2020? Your most expensive, either expensive haul or most expensive purchase you made in 2020? And what was your biggest regret? What do you say, you know what, I should have spent this money on, whatever it is? Those would be mine and my family. So that's it for the stream today, guys. I want to thank everyone who came into the chat, at least for a little while. Hope you guys did enjoy. Remember to check it out on video on demand. This will be going up probably by tomorrow. There is, again, a delay of about 24 hours. For whatever reason, they delay this stuff. So I do hope you liked the stream. We're going to end it right now, guys, in 3, 2, 1. Take care, guys, and have a good night. Bye-bye.